Let there be video. Whoa. What? Did it work? All right, I see. All right, y'all, we're going to get ready to go. All right, here we go. Let's take off the slide. I'll say it one more time. Let there be video. Whoa. There we go, y'all. I had to make sure I pop in right. Good evening, everybody. Listen, y'all, we're here another time, another night here at Sound Gospel Radio for another show of Let's Talk About It. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, y'all. We're going to talk about it tonight. Well. Hate the holidays. My Lord Jesus, such a strong word. I hate the holidays. Julie, I'm going to bring you up already because I like to see our vice president and co-founder of Sound Gospel Radio, which is my wife, Jaleesa Hoskins. Baby. Good to see you. I said baby tonight. Good to see you. How you doing, honey? Say honey.
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good, babe. And see people say
another Thursday already. I feel like we were just here.
I know, that fast. And people say, why do I ask my wife how she's doing? Is she your wife? If y'all know the way our schedule go, it's good to see her when I can see her. And so I can see her online. Hey, glory to God. I see her online. Hey, I'm happy with that. And so we work together in ministry and in business and everything else. So listen, this is how it goes. Our days, sometimes we're two ships in the night, but I praise God. I have my wife with me tonight. So, all right, y'all. Definitely happy to see y'all here tonight. Listen, we got some people coming in the room. If you haven't already, those that are watching the replay, God bless you. I need to acknowledge too that all of our shows are on replay, as well as all of our shows are on Apple and Spotify. So if you missed today's show and you want to listen to it again, of course you can watch it on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, but you also can listen to it. I know everybody's in a car, they don't want to be distracted, but you can listen to the replays of this show on Apple and Spotify. Just type in Sound Gospel Radio, and not only will you see this show, you also see the segments that I do called A Fresh Wind, which is like a inspirational word on Mondays and Thursdays right here on Sound Gospel Radio. So again, just happy to see everybody here. God bless you to those that are listening. I see y'all in the back door. I see y'all, those that are listening to our radio station. We are an actual radio station, not a podcast, not just a live social media platform, or an actual radio station where you can listen to us at soundgospelradio.com and enjoy some great music. Why, y'all? Because we're building hope, transforming lives 24/7. Again, we're building hope, transforming lives 24/7 right here at Sound Gospel Radio. And this is how you can find us. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on TikTok, as well as Twitter, which is now called X. And I'm still praying about that, but hey, it is what it is. And again, thank you all to all of our executive partners, for those that have been supportive to us through your financial giving. Because you give, SGR does. I'll say it again, because you give, SGR does. So what does that mean? PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, and the mail. I got to make a song out of that, Jaleesa. PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, and the mail. Listen, so many of y'all have been such a blessing. You keep Sound Gospel Radio strong. I know I say it as a joke, but I sometimes we mean it. If you don't give and y'all tune in one day and we gone, well, it means the well done dried up. They said, well, do you believe God? Well, I believe God that you will give and that you'll sow. And we thank God for you. And when you do, y'all, we have different perks. You can ask some of our people. Listen, they have become executive partners. We send gifts. We send some free merch. We're going to talk about that later on today, about the merch that we have as well. And so we're thankful for that. Look at Jaleesa. Look who's on tonight. Aunt Debbie.
I see.
Auntie.
Hey, Auntie.
Aunt Debbie. Evangelist Deborah Jones. She said, why are you going to pull me out? I can hear her now. Why he pulled me out? So good to see you, Aunt Debbie, tonight. And she's fancy. She on YouTube tonight. She's fancy. So good to see you. Thank you for your support here at Sound Gospel Radio. And we appreciate you. All right, y'all. We're going to move forward because time flies when you're having fun. Time really flies when you're having fun, and I don't want to waste this moment because we want to have a good time here at Sound Gospel Radio. So let's bring on our guests. We have our guests here, y'all, that listen, some of these people have been such a blessing to us, and I want to bring on, y'all, my mother-in-law, Mrs. Marcia Johnson. Hello.
Buenas noches. Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Estoy bien.
That's all right. Yes, ma'am. We in. So glad that you're doing good and good to see you. See, look, y'all, we're international. Actually, I mean, we really are an international radio station. But anyway, good to see you tonight. All right, y'all. You know what? I'm gonna bring him on because he's dancing. Because you want to dance, we'll bring you on. Now he's gonna get serious. Boom, got you, Minister Brian George from Dayton, Ohio. He's one of our executive board members. Man, so good to see you tonight, man. How are you? Loose here.
I'll be better when I learn how to operate my equipment. So
Hey, listen, y'all. He fancy, y'all. He got the fancy studio mic and everything. But man, just good to see you tonight from Dayton, Ohio. One of our executive board members. So grateful to have you, y'all. Listen, she's a quiet storm. Listen, don't let that smile fool you. This woman, when we get on a good subject, a good conversation, she know I'm talking about. A Camille, what's going on?
Hi. Quiet storm.
You already know it. How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Doing well and thankful to have you here with Sound Gospel Radio on our talk show. Let's talk about it. All right, Pastor Hamid Washington. Pastor Hamid Washington.
Greetings, and more greetings. Greetings. Yes.
What's going on, man? How's it going, bro?
All is well.
How's it going?
Sir. All is well.
All is well?
All is well.
All is well. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. All right, y'all. Before we get into this conversation, which is going to be a good, interesting one, I'm inviting all of you to like and share. I've only saw one person like it so far, and we let you like and share it here at Sound Gospel Radio. Let people know about it. Make some phone calls. Also, let them know we have a special guest tonight, y'all. We have a licensed clinician. That's what I like to say. So listen, professional, y'all, went to school, did her thing. I used to work with her. I know this woman know her stuff, y'all. So let people know we have a professional tonight, y'all. Listen, licensed professional counselor. She's from the state of Wisconsin, and I can't wait to bring her on. So let some people know, say, hey, Sound Gospel Radio's on. Share it. Let them know. Say they got some, listen, you're going to need some help through these holidays. There's some answers that's going to come tonight. So make sure you tell people that we are live and that we are on right here on Sound Gospel Radio. Just looking forward. Definitely looking forward. All right. Okay. So the conversation, God bless you, musicians. We thank God for you. Amen. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. So the conversation tonight, y'all, is the subject is I hate. Mama, I don't know if you watching tonight, but such a strong word. You wouldn't let me say it when I was a kid, but I'm grown now. But I hate the holidays, y'all. Very serious subject. Very something that we definitely wanted to hit and converse about. Just a serious thing, y'all. I hate the holidays. And so I'm going to spring forward into this conversation and ask the question, what's up with the holidays, though? What's up with the holidays? Why is this season harder than any other time? Like, what's up? And it's a question I want to throw at the table and want somebody to grab it and run with it. But what's up with the holidays? Why this season? Why this time? What's up with the holidays?
Man, there's so much. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Camille. I apologize.
No, you're good. Inflation, the economy, things are expensive. It's too much.
Inflation. I like that perspective. The economy. Yeah. Wow. Do you keep honing in just a little bit deeper than that? Just a little bit.
I mean, you look at groceries, eggs are going up. Everything's just kind of increasing. And, people, jobs aren't really back like they were prior to COVID. So, now like people don't really have it as much as they do, where they're working all these different jobs and not able to spend time with their families. So,
yeah. Wow. That is true. That's the truth. Brian, go ahead. Wow.
There's so much expectation that is just attached to this season. And it's a tree with all the ornaments. And what do? We get up in the morning because we've been taught, according to our traditions, that this fat man rides around in his sleigh driven by these reindeer and goes God knows how, but he gets down every last one of our chimneys, even if we don't have a chimney. And he get back on camera. He gets back. He gets it in our house. He doesn't set off the alarm, but he puts all these presents, the things that we ask for, wanted through the year, under this tree, and then eats the cookies, drinks the milk, and sneaks out without being noticed. And if we're not in a place where we can fall in that tradition, the disappointment comes because everybody's not as well off as we wish we could be. Some people just don't have it, and it's a failure of expectation. And then
Yeah.
what does that do to you over the coming years? You're anticipating failure year after year after year, or it's a big reminder of the position I'm in that I don't want to be in. So it's tough. It's depressing. It can be.
Wow. So far we've talking about the inflation, the economy, the anticipating failure of the season. Who else had some different perspectives concerning like why? What is up with the holidays? Why is this season harder than any other? Mrs. Marcia, I see you. Go ahead.
In part, I think it's based on what Camille and Minister Brian just said. All those things involve our feelings.
Mm,
And if we're saying why I hate the holidays,
yeah.
because hate to me brings up negative feelings or memory. And if you're being disappointed, that's a negative feeling. Even inflation, if you can't afford the things, and the holidays are traditionally and generationally known and associated with a good time, a gathering with family, usually people who you love or at least like,
Yes.
and what you do for them in expression to that love or like. And when you can't meet those expectations, it brings up negative feelings or memories of a time when your expectations were not met, even from childhood. And that's probably where it starts.
Wow.
I would even add if the person is not here. Like with
Right.
everything that everybody said, sometimes it's the memories of
Yes.
this is how it used to be
Mhm.
and now it's no longer. So what's the point?
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's to Jaleesa's point and everybody else's point, we can tie it all in, but then, I have this expectation. I'm no longer able to meet the obligation, and then the people that I'm used to hanging around are no longer here. So the holidays come with a whole lot of voids.
Yeah.
Instead of remembering
Yeah.
the good times, we remember the negative times, and we associate everything with us not having. It's loss of job, loss of family, loss of money, loss of everything. So it's how we associate everything, and it's the conversations again that we have in our mind, where I believe we generally want to be happy, but
Mhm.
then when we really look at it, we're not, because just so many things are changing. And if the truth be told, when change happens, a lot of us can't handle the change, or a lot of us can't really deal with the change, especially if things are not the way they used to be.
Well, the holidays can be rough. Go ahead, Jaleesa. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing. I said, yeah.
No, I'm just saying, but the holidays can be just difficult. Let me give a shout out to Benjamin Graves, y'all. He has the Benny G Morning Show that comes on Sound Gospel Radio Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's so good to see you, Benny G. Good to see you, my man. Thank you for being a part of tonight's conversation. But holidays can be difficult. I'm learning it doesn't matter when you lose your loved one, but because, like Mrs. Marcia said, because it's around the time that you have family and family time and friends and family and love and people come together. Now that season that is, that highlights that. Now when that person's gone, it makes it hard. Like I said, and I can share always. Again, I got through. This year was different. Every year is different for me. November the 14th, 1999, around 7:30, 8 o'clock ish, I lost my father. I'm the one who found him, dead on the floor. He sent me to the store to get him. I remember, y'all, clear as day. Sent me to the store to get a cheesesteak. And I had my two cousins that were living with us at the time. And I remember making them come with me. I don't know why. I made them come with me to the store and all to come back and see my father gone. Now, mind you, before he died, he was happy. He was elated. He was like, I feel so good and I feel so free. And I remember that day because he had been sick a while, but that one day, y'all, he had so much strength and he just felt good and his body was just, so not even realizing that he was transitioning. And that and one thing I can say, he felt good when he passed, but he passed November the 14th, y'all. Then a few weeks later, it's Thanksgiving. 2 weeks later after that, it's my birthday. A few weeks after that, it's Christmas. A few weeks after that, it's New Year. So it's like, whoa, And as the years have passed since 1999, which is now almost 24 years or more, I had my moments, y'all. I think if Sister Marcia or Jaleesa remember, if it wasn't last year, maybe the year before last, I'm at church and I'm typing in the live stream for Sunday morning service, and I literally typed in November 14th, and it was for the live stream, and I froze, y'all. I like did like this, and I busted out crying. And I ran downstairs. Why did I run downstairs? Because being a minister at the church, assistant pastor, etc., I didn't mind my in-laws or my family to see what was going on, but I didn't want the people to be concerned and bring more attention. What's wrong? What's wrong, elder? So I had to run downstairs and wipe my eyes, get myself together. And I'm like, yo, where did that come from? Like, where did that come? So this season, not just losing my father, but sometimes the holiday season brings forth emotions because I'm already checking myself. Listen, I want y'all to be free. So I'm going to share it with y'all, me. If nobody else is going to talk, I'm not talking about on the platform, and nobody else is going to talk as far as the comments are concerned. We're going to share it with you so that you can be free. Those that are listening, those that are watching, so I can share about myself. This season, I do get mixed emotional, and thank God for my wife, praise the Lord, who is grace for the assignment to deal with me. And she's very careful because I'm now learning, because I didn't realize this, y'all. I didn't realize how much things activate me. I know we use the word trigger, but activate during the season. Because I'm like, okay, we're getting closer to Thanksgiving. And even now I'm kind of like, yeah. And she's like, babe, come on, let's make the best. And but then now I'm like, well, why am I like this? What? So now I'm starting to really like get into the bottom of why, what is triggering, what is activating, why do I feel this way? The Lord has blessed me with so many things. I preached about it recently, been talking about having a spirit of thankfulness and really, honing in on that. But why, even through the thankfulness, I'm still having these moments because I realized the season just bring forth emotions that I didn't realize that was there because they carried so heavy for so many years. Am I making any sense?
Mm-hmm.
Am I making sense? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
Yeah.
Nathan, when you were saying about the trigger and the activated, I had the chance to have a conversation with a licensed psychologist. And for those who don't know, because my mom passed away too, and she was really young when she passed away. And every year around the anniversary of her death, I could just feel this funk coming over me, like I would just be in a bad mood or agitated or and I couldn't pinpoint anything immediately, specifically. And for the first 3 years, it would happen. And I was talking to the lady, and she was telling me that because my mind and my body knows that around that time of year, something took place, like a trauma or a tragedy, and it's preparing for it to deal with it so I can get through it. And I was really like, but it made sense at the time when she said it, maybe because I had something to put my fingers on. I just knew the feelings that I was having, and I couldn't think of anything in my day to day that would put me in a bad mood. But she said, your body is trying to prepare for the trauma that it experienced around that time, because it's in your psyche. It knows, even if it's not in your, it's like in your, brings to mind your consciousness, like the one that you live in and deal with every day, like not subconsciously, it's not buried so deep, but that's how your body is preparing to deal with the pain of it, because it felt the pain before and it doesn't want to feel it again.
Wow. So listen, y'all, those that are watching, those that are listening, y'all, we're talking about this conversation today, saying I hate the holidays. And it's so good to see those that are listening to us at Sound Gospel Radio. I see you out there. Give some shout out to those that are listening to us, of course, from the state of New Jersey. I see some people tuning in from the Washington, D.C. area. God bless you. And thank you for tuning in tonight. And again, y'all, those that are watching, is let some people know about this. I know this is a tight subject. And so I know a lot of people may watch the replay. You can't hide from us. The Holy Ghost had already revealed it. No, I know people, because it's a tight subject, but y'all listen, I'm really looking at that scripture more and more. And I know we don't always talk about scripture, but this is gospel radio. But Jesus told us, he said, I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. And one day I spoke a message, y'all, about that life, that he wants us to have new life. He wants us to have wholeness, because once we become believers, y'all, we're to go out and reach somebody else. So that life, I'm living intentionally for evangelism, which I talk about that life, meaning that, yo, let me deal with me first, and let some healing grow on the inside, because he wants me to take my story and reach out to somebody else. Okay, little did I know, and I share it like a broken record, and I don't care who has an issue. But after losing my father the way I did, little did I know that the Lord was going to use that story. Can I start off? I talked about it this morning. Number one, working at Atlantic Care. The guest that we have on tonight, that we bring her in, she's my old coworker. She was one of the therapists there. Little did I know that I was going to go into a place and share my experience with young people that lost their father, with young people that didn't have a father in their life. So although the situation happened and it was very traumatic, and even though it was around the holidays, he was still able to use that trauma to help somebody else say, hey, listen, this is what I did when I had to go through. You know, when the holiday season came up, which it did during when I worked in behavioral health, we were ready to deal with those children that helped them get through that holiday season, because grandma's not here no more, or pop or dad or brother or sister, or whoever that loved one was, friend. You know, sometimes we lost a good friend. And so we're here today. I know it's maybe a quiet subject or whatever the case may be, but we're here to help you. Because again, Sound Gospel Radio, we're building hope, transforming lives 24/7. So we really hope that today's conversation will, you know, not only let you expose some things, but also find some healing. So I do love so far the conversation we had. Why is this season so hard? You know, people, they get, you know, they people don't get as upset on Valentine's Day that they do around Christmas and Thanksgiving. It's just a difference, you know. Valentine's Day is 24/7. 24 hours. I'll get through it. But this season is just like, rawr. You know, it's rough. Let me pause real quick before we move forward. Letitia Wiley. I love it when Sound Gospel Radio supports Sound Gospel Radio. Letitia Wiley, y'all, she has a show called Rockin' with Tish that comes on 2 p.m. on Saturdays from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Sound Gospel Radio. And she is in the chat room today. And she says, hello from Sound Gospel Radio. Yes, singles do hate.
I was about to say that.
But guess what? But still, them holidays hit a little different. Okay, I think the holiday has a deeper sting than that Valentine's. I'm just saying, praise be,
because it's a holiday season. Valentine's Day is just a day.
Go ahead, Camille. What'd you say?
So you're married, so you've been married for a while. I'm just saying.
But I was single for a while too.
Right?
You don't forget. You never forget.
Listen, I get it though. No, Valentine's Day have its moment, but them holidays, for me, that's why I always say for me, because everybody's different.
Right. If you were in, because I was before I got married, if you're into Valentine's Day and you have that expectation, it's hard for you. But if you don't, it doesn't. Because I've been married a little while too. I promise you, I'm not just saying that because I'm married now. I wasn't always, and it was just never a big deal to me.
Yeah, like I said, to each his own. That's what I always say for me. I do the safe route for me these days is for me. So I guess Valentine's Day is the runner up for the Christmas Thanksgiving. So. Letitia Wiley is cutting up in the comments section. She tells on Valentine's Day is for the singles, Thanksgiving, Christmas is for you. Tish, I can hear you saying it. You are too much.
But it's funny because it goes back to, again, whatever your point of reference is, whatever your point of lack is or loss is. For singles, of course, Valentine's Day is because they're wanting a relationship. They're feeling a void or a lack somewhere. Whereas others, it's a Thanksgiving or Christmas. It's still a lack or a void. It may not be a romantic relationship, but it's some other type of relationship. And I think it's even, like I was saying before, it's the season. I think it's because the holidays, this is like a whole season. This is not just a day. Oh, I can get through the 24 hours. This is like weeks, a month. Like this is a whole season. This goes from like November until January 1st. And everybody's supposed to be happy and jolly. Yeah. Why am I not?
Right.
That's true. So it's
because it drags. Yeah. It has a drag to it. You know, we don't get depressed and we don't feel a certain way. I mean, many of us may for Halloween and all those other one-day type events. But, you know, it just seems that right after Halloween, that law comes right on in, and it just drags. We're talking about loss of family. I lost my grandmother and my mother, and it just drags. And it's like, can we just hurry up and, kind of get through it so we can get back to kind of living, because I think we kind of, for some of us, we go into this little tunnel, this little barrel, and we kind of bury ourselves in. I share with you guys, go on autopilot, if you will. You just do things just to do it. Because you have to. You show up because you have to. But really, when you think about your heart being involved in something, if you're in a lull, then there's no feeling. We get to a place of numbness because those people are no longer around. And depending on the role that those persons have played in your life, you're going to really feel that. Yeah.
It's the truth. And Letitia Wiley, she just said here, y'all, and I'm reading them out because we're live on the radio. Those don't know why he always reading out the comments so our radio audience can hear as well. Letitia Wiley said, my brother just said to me today how he hates the holidays. Those 2 holidays are centered around family. Make sure you send this link and this show to your brother, and hopefully it can be a help to him.
You have a brother?
Well, it's like a brother. It's like, just, how we do, but praise God.
Gotcha.
But yeah. But, so I just want to drive into that because, and I don't want to take too much from our guests, y'all, because I know we have our guests that's coming in, but Brittany James from Atlanta, good to see you. Brittany from Atlanta, Georgia, good to see you. So I'll say this then. So there's a difference. I think with the holidays, there's a melancholy versus depression. There's a melancholy versus depression. Y'all, I'm gonna stay that right there because I'm gonna give a shout out to somebody real quick. The melancholy versus depression. I'm gonna hit that because I gotta say hi, y'all, to Miss Lashana Andrews. Look who done popped up in the comments, y'all. We had her last week on our show, the author of Thankful Hannah, and my book is on the way. Praise the Lord. I got the information recently, but she said, hey, y'all from DC. She said, I don't like the holiday season because it is a constant pressure to do more what we could afford. I don't like to feel not useful when we show up empty-handed. That, you know what? That is a different way to look at it. It's true. Because you feel that pressure on you, the gift giving and the different information and times that they have this one's having this one having that, and it's like that pressure that's put on you. It's like, go ahead.
It's the feelings again.
Yeah.
When I share the feelings or emotions or a memory, we don't like feeling those negative ones. That's why, because the topic is, why do I hate holidays? We don't like the negative feelings. They hurt.
Yeah, they definitely do. And it's just a difficult time. I just want to hit this real quick, y'all, because I'm going to bring our guest on and give her some time to share. But there's a difference. I'm seeing that there's a melancholy versus depression. Melancholy is one thing where it's just, whoa, and just sad and just, like the Eeyore. But but this season really brings on some depression. And there is a really difference between melancholy and depression, which also affects our anxiety. I preached about that on Sunday, talking about that anxiety, y'all. And so I heard somebody say on another talk show, it said, worry is the root of depression, but anxiety is the cousin of depression. Because sometimes, y'all, I say it again, worry is the root of depression. Anxiety is the cousin of depression. That all these things, man, because that anxiety begins to build up and just anxious, and then thoughts and then feelings as we get into this season. And then you're up in the middle of the night. And I know the church, we tell us to pray. Sometimes we ain't always praying. Sometimes we worrying and we feel some type of way, whether it's the loneliness, whether it's the anger of the loss of the loved one. And, how I'm going to get through this day. Sometimes it's the night before Thanksgiving. Sometimes it's the night before Christmas. Sometimes it's New Year's Eve. I'm not going, those things hit. And it builds that anxiety, that lack of sleep. You try different things to put you back to sleep. Come on, y'all, let's tell the truth. You try to take the melatonin. Did I say it correctly? That ain't working. You try to take the sleepy tea. That ain't working. You try to do this. That ain't working. And you realize it can really get you into a state of real depression, and you have this fight between this melancholiness, because some people are just melancholic, but no, there's really a serious thing of depression. But I believe, y'all, there are some tips and some things that's going to help us get out of this, and we're going to find out this on the other side, because we have a special guest that's going to share with us, Miss Geraldine Bell Skaggs. So we're going to take a short break, and we're going to be right back, y'all, in this conversation, because we're going to so excited to have her, y'all. So we're going to take a short break right now. All right, y'all. That was our merchandise. For those that are listening to us on Sound Gospel Radio, what was playing is our merchandise is available. You can get our SGR merch, y'all. There we go. Our SGR merch is available at soundgospelradio.com. So visit soundgospelradio.com and you can get your hoodies, your t-shirts. It is available, and we're going to be adding to it as Christ adds souls to the church daily. We're going to be adding to it as well here at Sound Gospel Radio. And listen, I see somebody already said, hold on, pause. She said, get your merch. She ordered hers today. Yes, she did. Letitia Wiley said she got hers. So she said, you better jump on it while the jumping is going. So thank you, Letitia. And she said, come on through commercial. Yes. Of those that were watching us, that is the commercial. Those that were listening to us, you heard some music, but you can see that commercial on our YouTube channel, as well as our Facebook and social media, or visit us on the website at soundgospelradio.com. All right, y'all. We're going to move forward. Listen, we have a special guest here tonight. I'm so happy to have her with me. She was a coworker that I used to work with as one of the therapists in the behavioral health system. Her name is Miss Geraldine Bell Skaggs, and I'm going to bring her up so y'all can see her as I read her bio, y'all. Geraldine Bell Skaggs is a licensed professional counselor in Wisconsin, specializing in youth ages 4 through 17. It says how do I say that word? Julie sounded messed up already. Perinatal. That's it, right, Jolene? There you go. Perinatal mental health and infant early childhood mental health consultation. Listen, y'all, she has over 20 years of experience in the mental wellness field and worked in several treatment settings. She is a member of multiple professional organizations and served on the Wisconsin Council of Mental Health, which provides guidance and recommendations to the governor and Department of Health Services, which is bad self. Go ahead, girl. In her leisure time, guess what she loves to do? She loves to enjoy traveling, family gatherings, trying new foods, listening to music, and bowling. I know you probably showed me off because I ain't going to try to bowl around her, because that means that she do it well. All right. So y'all, listen, so happy tonight to have this woman here, y'all. Like I said, we worked together in the behavioral health unit in New Jersey, and we had, some great times together. Like I told y'all, she was my therapist. I said that as a joke, but no, it was a joke, but half serious. Many times I had some situations, y'all, and I came to her for some guidance and some counsel, and she has helped me. And I thank God for you tonight. And we've been trying to get her. Listen, she's a good busy. She's been a good busy. When we had our last season of Let's Talk About It, we wanted to have her on, but finally her schedule permitted her to come. Again, Geraldine, just so happy to have you tonight with us.
Thank
Welcome.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much. A pleasure to be here.
Yes, definitely. So I have some questions and we're gonna put you on the spotlight. I'm gonna put you on the spotlight. Boom, boom, like just like that. I'm gonna put you on the spotlight. But I do have some questions that we want to ask you here as we speak to you today. And boom, let everybody know your potentials. I want everybody to know. Listen, this woman is the truth, y'all. But from a psychological perspective, today's subject we're talking about. I hate the holidays. I hate the holidays. And so, from a psychological perspective in your field, why do people get depressed during the holidays? Like, again, we talked about it earlier, but I want to hear your perspective. Like, what is it about the holidays?
Yes. So, as you all were sharing earlier, I was jotting down some of the feedback that you all have been saying because I want to definitely highlight that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think what makes it really difficult is the grief, the loss that people have experienced, and the absence of those loved ones that are no longer going to be present at those family gatherings.
Mm.
And it's also, you all stressed, it's the season, it's the season. It's not just one day or even a week, it's the season. And that does have a bigger impact because we are literally looking at pretty much November 1st, the day after Halloween, through January, probably within even that first week of January. And so that is an extensive period of time where the expectations, like you all were saying, inflation, which is year round, but but because of those expectations, that inflation, we're feeling that of trying to get these gifts and don't want to disappoint anyone and show up at 5 people different houses for the dinner and everything like that.
True. So true.
And having, so many emotions too. I think another lens to this is it's stressful. The hustle and bustle, the shopping, whether you're shopping in person or online, trying to catch the deals, and so many people to shop for, get gifts for. The hustle and bustle of it makes it stressful too. So I think that's another layer that's in this as well.
Wow, y'all. Listen, we getting it direct offhand right now. Listen, for those that are still just tuning in and listening in as well, we're talking to Miss Geraldine Bell Skaggs. She's an accomplished psychotherapist. And she's also, y'all, we didn't add this part, but I'll throw it. She's the owner and founder of Family Healing and Wellness Center in Shorewood, Wisconsin. So I I see Letitia says she ain't told she ain't told a lie yet. Letitia, I love it. You helping us tonight. I love it. So, COVID-19 really, that has already created its own phobia for what I've heard, and just sometimes seeing the numbers 2020 or hearing COVID-19 already, activates and triggers people. So I want to ask this question because before COVID, mental health was already difficult during the holidays. So how has the pandemic affected mental health, especially around this time?
Yes. So the pandemic just period affected so many aspects of our lives.
Wow.
The main thing I think that impacted this time of year is because we could not be be together collectively, and we had to be in your own home,
Yeah.
only with the people who actually live in your home. There was a sense of isolation too. And so when you're used to, seeing great grandmama and grandmama and first cousin, second, all these large gatherings,
Yes.
it and then you go from that to only the 3 people in your house. That is huge. That's huge. And also, even the language that was used, it was called social distancing.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and we say, oh, it's words, it's semantics, but there really is a thing with words. There is a thing to it. It
I
would
agree.
have been probably more helpful to say physical distancing
Mm.
opposed to social distancing.
Mm.
Yes, we are physically space-wise distancing, but we can still be social, and we have to learn to pivot and be social and in a different way, and think out of the box on how to do that, and still connect. But the wording of that, of social distancing too, was disheartening.
Let's go back real quick because I major in the minors. So you just told me just a play on words have also affected the mindset of people.
Mm-hmm.
Just pandemic alone.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yes.
right. Now y'all know me. Then I take it and I extreme it because just the play on words and even some of the words, even when it come down to the loss of loved ones and the holidays and stuff, sometimes. So are you telling me? Okay, I'm gonna ask that second question. I'm gonna try to keep it in mind because I have different personalities as moving. Okay, first question I want to ask you is: you're telling me they should have used what word instead of social distancing?
Physical distancing.
Physical distancing. Because I'm like, wow, it's the truth because you hear social, and now it's like, oh, I can't. Oh, I can't. Compared to physical, that takes a toll. That
Mm-hmm.
is a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
And now, are you telling me too that just because of the play on words, that the way the holidays are presented on TV, commercials, movies, and things, that even the jargon and stuff can also affect somebody mentally?
It can.
Wow.
It definitely can.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Even if it's a fantasy, but the fantasy also makes that person feel some type of way because that's not happening for them.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, the play on words. Sorry, y'all. I just had to highlight that because that I never looked at it like that, Geraldine. I never looked at that even during that time. Okay, let me let you be you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No,
Wow.
yes, yes, and then the loss again
Yeah.
during the pandemic, a lot of lives were lost, and so
Yeah.
um, and some families may have had multiple losses in a short period of time, which is very traumatic. So
Yeah.
if you
True.
you know if you have 4 or 5 relatives that had COVID and passed from COVID, wow, that's a big impact in your family. And
True.
so the loss plays a role. But the pandemic was very, very, and even still we're post pandemic
Yeah.
is the term that's being used, but there's still some hesitance to gather in collectively. Some people still have that anxiety of, well, I don't know, I don't want to catch anything and all like that. So some people are still having some reservation about gathering together too, and how can we do this safely,
Right.
so we can be in each other's presence, because we all know it is a very different feeling to connect virtually than it is to connect in person.
It's true because I was doing some research and reading some things and watching different shows even way before we did this, and they said there's a new phobia out called coronaphobia. It's of course the fear of contacting or contracting COVID-19. But then I heard some studies had proved. They said there's been an estimated additional 76.2 million cases of anxiety disorders globally, and an increase of 25.6%. And it is unlikely the mental health. Excuse me, and it is unlikely that mental health will recover, like we just said, to pre-pandemic levels for some time. And this is the National Institute of Health. And they wrote this out in January of 2023. And I'm like, wow. And so I would like to segue into this next question. What are some of the traits? What are some of the things or traits that people do during this time that will indicate or give signals or flags that their mental health may be in question? Because I want to ask this question because sometimes, we talked about for the last 2 weeks, how did I get here? Like, why am I thinking this way? Why am I acting this way? What's going on? But I want to identify some of those traits. I asked the question again, what are some of the things or traits that people do during this time that would indicate or give signals or flags, and we don't tell those flags, that my mental health may be in question?
Yes. So when you're thinking of yourself, if you're noticing that you may be responding or reacting differently than how you normally or typically would, maybe a little more agitated, a little more flustered, a little more irritable, any subtle mood changes. Doesn't have to be a big drastic mood change, but even just subtle mood changes could be an indication as well.
Wow.
And then also how they're interacting with others around them. If you're a parent and you notice that you're being a little more snippy towards your children, don't have as much, doesn't seem like you're as patient as you normally are. Things like that. And then what you may notice in someone else is, again, it may not be a big drastic change, but it could be they could be that they're a little more reserved, or things that they normally would partake in or do, they may pass. They don't want to do it. Like, you really do like this, or that's kind of odd that he doesn't want to do that this time. So some of those more subtle changes that you will notice in someone's typical behavior or response.
Wow.
As well. Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right, y'all, we have about 12 minutes left on this conversation. I'm going to before we get to some solutions, because I know there's some solutions that our great guest has for us, I'm going to open the floor and let some of our guests ask Miss Geraldine some questions. If y'all have any questions for her, anybody got any questions? Because I wanted any. Okay, so listen, we're going to chime right in. I see Camille first. Who else? So I can do it in order. Anybody else have a question for her after Camille's question? All right, listen, Camille, go ahead and ask your question.
So how would you speak to somebody who has like anxiety about seeing family members that maybe they don't get along with for the holidays? Like you talk about the loss, but what about that kind of side of things of like, I have to go see my family, but we don't get along. We're always arguing or fussing or this person or that person. So
that's a good question.
Just wondering about that.
Yes. So that's where boundaries would come into play, and talking with that relative about boundaries and what is okay for you, what feels okay for you, what is acceptable to you. And if that, boundary gets crossed, what are you going to do, or how do you want to handle that? So it's like they don't have to come up with something or think on the fly. They have a plan in mind, like, okay, when I go into this gathering, this is, what my boundary is. And if this boundary gets crossed or violated, this is how I plan to address it or handle it.
Wow.
Thank you.
That was good. Yes, that was a good question, because Lord knows that's the truth. It's the truth. It's just I've been a family member. I mean, down through the years, I've had to go to events, and you had to see certain family members, and it's the outside the door before you walk in to prepare yourself, especially when certain ones know exactly what to say to trigger you. So now you're trying to mask your face, trying to hide the moment of what's wrong with you, or they say something to now get you started. So yeah, that's boundaries is a big deal. And I know I see this. I'm going to keep plugging until I can't plug no more. We did a conversation about that, y'all, here at Sound Gospel Radio. So go back, like I said, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, I think even Twitter and even podcasts, and scroll back, y'all, and you'll see some questions about some conversation, excuse me, about boundaries. Audience, those that are listening to us, those that are watching us, if you have any questions, you can ask these questions at this time. My man, y'all, he's from overseas and he's watching us right now. And he said, treat those visiting family members just like Christians do at holiday parties. When the drinking starts, leave. Chris Spade, it's good to see you, man, tonight. Good to see you. You see, I got Brian on here, Chris. You see Brian's on here. Me and Chris met, me and Brian met Chris on the same platform. So I got Brian here live, man. So thank you for coming in tonight. Y'all, if you have any questions that are watching us, especially those that are on social media, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Those that are listening to us on the radio, we may not be able to get to your questions directly, but if you do have any questions, we'll try our best to send them to Miss Geraldine and get back to you as soon as possible. Anybody else have any questions here on stage?
Is there a way to determine the difference between a healthy dislike and an unhealthy dislike of the holidays? Like, is there a clear definition as to when it's understandable and then when it crosses over into there may be a problem?
So what do you consider an unhealthy dislike? Just so I can understand. I want to make sure I'm understanding your question.
I didn't expect you to toss it back in my direction. I'm sorry. I mean, I understand, like, some things just aren't certain people's flavor. And sometimes it's hard for us to understand that people don't do certain things. But then there's the point where that thing affects them so greatly to where they couldn't even participate if they wanted to.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So I think it's the intention and the reason behind the dislike. If it's truly like you said, it's just something that's not their flavor, it's not their cup of tea, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's unhealthy. But if it's out of pettiness, spite, I'm not doing that, or it's like that attitude behind it. Then it's like, okay, it's like you got a chip on your shoulder type of thing. And, let's take a little closer look at that. What's causing you to feel that pettiness and that having that chip on your shoulder? I think it's the intention and the reason behind the dislike to kind of tease out if it's healthy versus unhealthy.
That's good. Listen, y'all. All right. Listen, Geraldine, we're going to get into, we have about 7 minutes left for today's conversation. And I have a question. What are some solutions, tips, or techniques that people can do to get through this tough time? Now, us being a religious station, I know the preacher says to pray about it. Trust the Lord. Give it to Jesus. Let him handle it. And I believe it. I believe that. But I thank God that I worked in the mental health field. I thank God that I was able to meet somebody like you. And I learned so much more than just prayer. I'm not knocking prayer, and I have nothing against prayer. I'm a man of faith. I believe in it all. I know it works. But from a professional perspective, and also you being a woman of faith, I would like to know, what are some solutions, tips, or techniques that people can do to get through this tough time?
Yes. So there are tangible things that people can do in conjunction with their spiritual practices. Mm-hmm. Let me say that again.
It's all right.
There are tangible things that you can do in conjunction with your spiritual practices. And what I strongly suggest is committing to a wellness activity every day. So many wellness activities, because there's about 7-8 different dimensions of wellness. And what I mean by that is different areas of your life that we want to be as healthy as we can, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, occupational, and a few more. And so when we think about, okay, how can I promote being healthy in this area or this dimension of my life? If you can pick one thing out of any of those dimensions and say you'll focus on that for that day.
Wow.
That is a tangible thing. You could and it could be so simple. So we're not talking about going out for a spa day and getting the massage and the full body scrub and all that. No. Like things that everybody and anybody can do. Like breath work. Taking 10 deep breaths and doing that throughout the day. That's helping with your stress level. It helps the body to relax and to calm. When it was mentioned earlier about feelings are in the body, that is so true. The head and the body and our feelings are all connected. So one does truly affect the other. And so if we can hone in on one, it'll naturally affect the other. And so a wellness activity from any dimension of wellness, any area of your life, commit to doing one wellness activity each day.
I was taking notes. I don't know about y'all. I was really typing. I was really taking notes. So committing to a wellness activity every day, y'all. That was one. Do you have any more? Because I can share a few. As you're preparing probably for a few more, and you can. I'll see if you want to vouch these and not Geraldine, but there was a few more that we did look up. There's some, of course, and we talked about this all, but just maintaining the healthy boundaries. Of course, the boundaries are important. Of course, practicing gratitude. And I've been teaching and preaching about this, y'all, for like the last, how long have I been doing this, Brian, on Fresh Wind? The last month, I think since November hit. Every time I go live on the radio, I've been talking about having a spirit of gratitude, because even studies prove being more thankful, even in the midst of turmoil and problems, being more thankful can really change your mindset from what is not happening and who is not here anymore. Lord, and I've had to do it. My father is not here, but Lord, my mother is. You know what I'm saying? Even if mom and dad is gone, somebody's there. Listen, even you say, I ain't got nobody, you're still here. So that that attitude of gratitude does help towards, in this holiday season, to really have an attitude of gratitude. Of course, they talked about practicing stress management, and she talked about that. I think that ties into stress management, having what you talked about as far as the deep breaths and these are things, y'all, that's just helping us to move forward. Also, how about creating some meaningful connections? Sometimes we're around some stinking thinking, some people that just keep us down, some people that just keep us at a sometimes we got to separate ourselves, come out from among them and be separate, y'all. So this is just a few things that I just wanted to share with y'all today. Geraldine, do you have some more tips and some more things that some people could do during the holidays that could be helpful for them?
I was definitely gonna piggyback off what you were saying about the connection with positive people, and to keep positive people close to you.
Yes.
So the Debbie Downers, and you don't draw to them. You want to draw to the people that have that positive energy, that are genuine, authentic. That's what you want to draw to those individuals. And even if it's only one, that you can identify in your life, draw to that person.
It's the truth. I agree. And I'm going to end here, and we definitely want to talk about your facility. The last one I'm going to throw out there for y'all is give yourself permission to rest. I know I need to preach to my own self, when I say that. But listen, the holiday season can be busy, it can be demanding, but it's also important to prioritize, to rest and relax, allow ourselves to take breaks and recharge when needed. Listen, remember that our well-being matters, y'all. Our well-being matters. And I know it matters to my wife, because my wife has been working crazy these last few weeks. And she said, because the holidays are coming up and I want to rest. So she's been working hard. I'm like, telling y'all, like sometimes 9, 10 o'clock at night, I'm like, you still in the office? She's trying to get as much paperwork she can get done, get through the week. Listen, because when the holidays come, she wants to relax, because it matters, y'all. Our resting, our relaxation. So I'm learning that in this part of life. I'm learning that. But Charlene, I just wanted to share real quick.
Say one more quick thing, Nathan.
Go ahead, please.
There's also, I wanted to mention this real super quick. There is the post-holiday blues too, because when those credit card bills hit from what you are buying and all that debt, January may even linger into a little bit into February. That's the post-holiday blues. So the practical tip is set a budget and stick to your budget. Don't over your budget, because that's going to affect how you feel in come January and maybe even February.
Set a budget, stick to the budget, y'all. I think that is very helpful and true. Gerlin, listen, I know sometimes we go over time, but this is important that we get this information out concerning you. You are the owner and founder of Family Healing and Wellness Center in Shorewood, Wisconsin. I do have a question. Can you tell us a little bit more about Family Healing and Wellness Center? And do people have to be in Wisconsin to reach out to you for your services?
So about my practice, it is just me. I'm a solo in solo practice, and I had the vision to work with youth. That is really my passion and where my heart is. It really does. I just hate to see children suffer. So I love working with youth. And then in the last 2 years, I've been also focusing on perinatal, which is pregnant women and postpartum up to a year.
Okay.
And so that's another vulnerable population, people and women of color, mothers of color. It's a very underserved population, and there is a strong need there. So I've stepped into that population as well to support those mothers. And so as far as seeing anyone outside of Wisconsin, at this time, I am unable to because of the laws that are currently in place. However, as I speak, there is a national compact that is moving throughout the nation and the states. It goes through their legislature and everything. But if the states agree to this compact, we can start to work with folks across state lines.
Awesome. Listen, Geraldine, I enjoyed you today. I don't want to make this the last time that you're here. We would love to have you back again for a conversation. I love to see our people. I know we are national. We not, knocking anybody specifically, but I love to see our people go forth. And I think Jaleesa and I are fighting back and forth with the banner here because we're getting ready to close out. But Jalen was so happy to have you. Thank you, y'all. This was my therapist, y'all. And I want to just offer Jalen. I probably shouldn't bring this up. Y'all, I used to have so much fun at work. She knew that I was saved. She knew I went to church. But Jalen, I tell the story and they need to know that you're the one I'm talking about. When I told you that I was a minister, you did not believe me. She didn't believe me at first, y'all. Because listen, I had that much fun. Because y'all know ministers are usually, very churchy or pious and all that. No, I was a straight plumb fool at work, y'all. So how I am in personal, I was at work. We were professional. We had fun. I had to bring a DVD in to show her that. She said, "You ain't no preacher." I had to bring a DVD in to show her me actually preaching. She was like, "Is this stage?" No, it's a real service. And I say that, y'all, because listen, we're supposed to be down to earth, witnessing in the earth, knowing we are not of the earth. We had a lot of fun working together, professional. We reached a lot of kids. Letitia said she enjoyed you. I know so many people are going to watch this replay, listen to the podcast as well. And so we thank God for you. Thank you for being a part of Sound Gospel Radio. Listen, everyone that's on stage, don't leave yet. Stay right there. But thank you, y'all. Another great talk show here at Sound Gospel Radio. We're building hope. We're transforming lives 24/7. Although we may hate the holidays, just know that there are some solutions there. There are some solutions. Hey, Tanika, I see you right on the way as we're closing out. And somebody said this was some good. Oh, we ain't talking about that. Listen, y'all, we had a good night. Y'all have a good time. Listen, we'll be back on the 30th. Next week is Thanksgiving Day. We pray for you. We will be praying for you as you get through this holiday season. We will be back on the 30th. And if push come to shove, we're going to have what? An all men's feature. All the brothers are getting together for Sound Gospel Radio for Let's Talk About It. So again, y'all take care and we'll see you soon.
Building hope. Transforming lives. 24/7. Sound Gospel Radio.